Well, hello again. Got to be careful because I don't want to get a visit from Jake and Elwood. But I was watching a video the other day about the Cobra Mist HF over the horizon radar system. It was on Simon Holland's channel. And I don't know where he dug his radio expert up from, but he was one of these few and far between radio experts that seem to know absolutely nothing whatsoever about radio. Said the antenna was the wrong way around. It was just full of complete and utter rubbish, this video that he did. And this guy, they're saying, oh yeah, well, there's a big power line, you know, it's buried in the ground. They don't have overhead power lines going to the Cobra Mist over the horizon high frequency radar system. And so it's all super hush, you know, it's not really a radar system, and they don't want you to know that they've got it's got this power line going out to it, you know, so they buried it in the ground. And of course, the reason that they bury it in the ground is because overhead power lines, especially really high voltage ones, like, you know, 400,000 volt ones, radiate a lot of hash. And you can't have that radiating through the air when you've got very sensitive HF radio receivers, gigantic antennas, you know. It's going to pick up all this hash off the power lines. So you bury the power line in the ground. It's as simple as that, you know. And then Simon Holland said, oh, you don't need all that power for Cobra Mist, you know, you could practically plug it into the wall. And I thought, what? This is just complete rubbish, you know. I mean, there's a lot of nonsense on that channel. I watch it from time to time for a bit of entertainment value. It's pretty short on facts, to be perfectly honest. But you couldn't plug it into a 13. You couldn't plug the Cobra Mist transmission system into a 13 amp socket. You just couldn't do it. I mean, it could run 10 megawatts of power, okay? 10 megawatts to the antennas. And if you can run 10 megawatts to the antennas, it's probably going to be 60% efficient, you know. So how many more megawatts is that out of the power supply, the AC power supply, going into the Cobra Mist transmitters? You know, you're talking millions and millions of watts, you know. You can't plug it into a bloody 13 amp socket. And anyway, on my way here today, I stopped off to get some lotto tickets because it's 50 million bucks tonight. You know, I thought, well, that'd be good to win 50 million bucks. And I drove into a small town. Overhead power lines all the way through the town. And I stopped off at the supermarket to get some lotto. And there's power lines, you know, sort of crisscrossing and all that. Now, these are not super high voltage ones. These are probably only about 11,000 volts, these overhead power lines. Nothing like the big power lines you see, the sort of thing that will power Cobra Mist, you know. And I just noticed as I was driving under them that the AM radio, I was listening to Triple M, local-ish radio station. They're only low power transmitters, Triple M, but they're still a couple of kilowatts, something like that. So it's 8,000 watts peak envelope power. It's probably a bit more than that because they probably run asymmetrical modulation, which means you get, never mind. So anyways, it swamped it. So I thought, okay. So I drove into the car park, I switched the GoPro on, and I drove out of the car park, listening to the AM radio again, under the power lines, and then back into the car park again to give you a demonstration of why you do not have overhead power lines anywhere near a HF over the horizon radar installation. So I'll show you that clip, and you'll see precisely why. Now bear in mind, these are very, very low voltage overhead power lines. Some of it's only 240 volt, I think. It might be 415 volt, might be three phase. And I think a couple of them were 11,000 volts. But as soon as you drive under the 11,000 volt ones, it just goes to hash. And that's a really small voltage compared to the big overhead distribution power lines. Even driving down the high street with the 415 volt overheads, the signal's degraded and you can actually hear the noise in the background. So anyway, I just thought I'd do a quick video just to point that out and to give you a demonstration that you can see and hear for yourself as to why you would not have overhead power lines anywhere near your HF over-the-horizon radar station. Here's the clip.
Seeing some slight increases in...
Right, I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of why you don't have overhead power lines anywhere near a HF radar installation, over-the-horizon radar.
After Kangas failed to add to their scorecard in the second and
probably see the power lines above us at the moment. You can hear the crackling coming up.
Who went down by 8 points to Boulder on Sunday. Want more local news? Get free breaking news about our community. Download the Listener app, search for your area and subscribe now.
Donate and fundraise to help the close to 1 million Australians with endometriosis. Find out how at endoaustralia.org.
Triple M.
With the complete weed control package has arrived.
30 kilometres an hour, UV index remaining high.
Hope you can see the overhead power lines. That is exactly why you never have overhead power lines anywhere near a HF over-the-horizon radar station. They don't bury the cables because they don't want you to know it's got a power supply going to it. That is complete and utter nonsense. Seems like you can't get out of this. Once you get into this supermarket, they don't want you to leave. All the arrows are the other way. It's okay. Well, I hope that it wasn't much of a clip. It was only 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. But at least you can see and hear for yourself. You can see the power lines. You can hear the effect the power lines has on the AM broadcast station, Triple M. So I thought that was a simple demonstration, and it's just makes it very, very easy to understand what I'm talking about when I talk about RF noise and radiating power lines and how that would interfere with radio signals. You know, in this case it was from a commercial radio station, but HF radar, many times more sensitive, many times, you know, the antenna on the car, little tiny antennas for a HF over the horizon radar, enormous. You couldn't have overhead power lines anywhere near something like that. You have to bury the power line in the ground. One or two people have asked what is at the end of my bush drives. Now I can't show you an awful lot of it because of I work for a big outfit and we're not allowed to show anything with company name on it or anything like that without clearing it with corporate. And it's a lot easier just to not show it, to be perfectly honest. So I'll just show you a little bit. Clock the signs there, they can have a look on Google Earth. Turn the radio down a bit. It's not a bad morning actually, considering it's autumn here. So December, January, February is the summer. March, April, May is autumn, so we're in the middle of autumn. 15 degrees centigrade outside. 8 minutes past 8 o'clock in the morning. first-hand witness statements are related as in the first person by Norman. So Norman will tell a story, and it will be a story that's been put forward by one of these first-hand ET alien witnesses, ET technology, ET involvement, ET interaction witnesses. And then you can ask yourself, how much credibility do you think Norman's story has? And I've looked at a number of these stories, and personally I don't believe a single one of them. I think it's all complete and utter rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Well, here we are. This is the sort of place I usually end up at the end of my bush trips. So I'm just going to round the corner, and then I'm going to stop the camera just in case there's any notices anywhere. As always, thanks for watching.